What's up, y'all? It's your boy Prince Mazani,
It's your boy Ani Osaru.
and we here with God Talk Podcast. We're gonna have a bunch of different topics today. Nothing too crazy, but we're gonna just touch a few topics. The first topic we're gonna touch is death. Where do people go when they die? Is there life after death? Should you fear death? Why do people fear death? And is there a heaven and hell?
Well, this is a touchy topic because I believe there's a process to death. Like
Okay.
when you die, you don't immediately go to heaven. You don't immediately supposedly go to hell because I am a firm believer that hell is the physical realm
Right now, right here.
right now.
Exactly. I believe that as well.
And I got a lot of different ancient manuscripts to back me up. Even in the Jewish text, the origin of the word hell comes from the word Sheol, Sheol,
Mm.
and it means the shell. So shell, hell is the physical body or the physical realm. But that's if people want to believe that or if they subscribe to that. But if you actually believe in a place of torturing for your karmic sins, possibly, I don't know. I don't subscribe to that. I think it's more of a reincarnation process type
Exactly.
thing.
I believe that this is hell. I believe that when souls are manifested to earth into physical form, they are here to get tested. They are here to go through pain, go through suffering, to learn lessons, spiritual lessons, physical lessons. And if you don't learn these lessons, you get reincarnated with a new name and a new body, a new family, and got to do it all over again. You might get glimpses of your past life, which is considered deja vu. But in all retrospect, you are going to die. You are here to learn these lessons. This is hell. Anything that you can imagine happening in hell, killing, raping, children, pornography, whatever, is happening right here, right in
Right
this
here, right
time.
now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, universe or university is the universe. So we're here in the universe is a school.
Mm.
And I figured out that the origin of the word school also comes from the word shield.
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 How you spell
like,
shield?
Shield is spelled Sheol. It's a Jewish term.
Mm.
So shell in school has the same etymological roots, and they're speaking that the shell, the physical body or the physical world, is the school of the universe.
Mm.
And we're here to graduate, which is what death is about. It's a transformation process.
Right.
Can you graduate from the universe and become a part of the celestial spheres that we see, stars in the sky? I read an Egyptian text one time with death. You know, the Egyptians, they were masters of death.
Mm.
You know, everything they did was contributed to something of venerating death. You know, you have the Egyptian god Anubis or the Egyptian death god Osiris.
Mm.
And these people from this civilization would say death is a transformation process, and that when you actually die, the whole purpose of death is for you to strive to be a star in the sky.
Exactly.
And that was probably what the Christians meant, because they say what hell, you go to a fiery place and you burn forever. Stars are fiery and they burn forever.
Exactly.
More like plasma.
Now, what do you think about heaven? There's different variations of heaven. Heaven could be a peace of mind. You can find heaven on earth if you go within and experience this peace through discipline and meditation. But a physical place where your soul resides after you die, is there heaven?
Well, it's contextual because I would believe that heaven is that celestial sphere that you could join your soul to. That if God is a collective consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
then we will want to be a part of that consciousness or go back into that consciousness back in death. I look at God as a Buddhistic term called a monad, a collectivity of consciousness that is somewhere in the spiritual plane. So I guess heaven to me would be me or my soul conjoining back to that collectivity of consciousness. And maybe that's a blissful, forever feeling to be a part of that collective consciousness. So that's one way you can think of it. But I know the word heaven in its etymology, I'm a big person with words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, when you talk chakras, the upheaval, like the word heave in heaven, means the head.
The head, exactly. I was about to say that next.
There you go. Yep. So heaven is in the head, is in the mind, because the mind is in your, or the head produces the brain that produces the mind. So where you're going to find heaven at is through, some connectivity through the crown chakra, out of your head into wherever you projected yourself from.
And they call these the temples. And they said Jacob climbed the ladder. This is the temple of God. You know what I'm saying? Jacob climbed the ladder, and when he reached the place, he called it Pineal.
Yeah, Penuel.
Penuel, which is
Pineal.
Pineal.
Transliterations.
Because he seen God face to face.
Right.
Another example of heaven. Even like when the head heave and heaven heel. So you got above and you got below. So your heel is considered hell because it's low. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you get hello. You know the word hello from. So it's a kind of play on words, but I think they intentionally did this.
That's
on
like
purpose.
A spell, kind of. You think about it. They're like the words and the language. It's all connected. It's something metaphysical. So I think when it comes to death, you can look into the Tibetan thing. They got a place called the Bardo Rim. And the same thing in the Quran. They talk about the same place. The Barzakh. They call it the Barzakh. You have Bardo, where you stay in your grave, where you become like an astral being in that grave site. So you would want your people or your family to bury you by a family member, because they say if they bury you by a negative person, then your astral collect energy will be filtered into whatever you're near. So you don't want to be by some serial killer in the graveyard, and your astral body, has to, deal with that, because they say you don't truly make the transition until your body fully dissolve. And there is like ancient text saying that you go and see like this angel collective light field that come down to your funeral. They allow for you to see your funeral. That's in a lot of texts. That's
what?
Like voodoo and all. They say they allow for you to see your funeral. I'm not sure, because
that reminds me of a cartoon, Yuki Yukamura, the anime. And when he died, his body, like his soul came out, and he was hovering over the planet, and he was in the spirit realm.
You talking about Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yu Yu Hakusho. What I said, Yu Yu Yukamura.
I don't even
Yu Yu
know.
Hakusho, but you remember?
But I didn't know you saw that.
That's my shit.
I knew exactly that was my shit too.
And he had to work for the spirit world, and he had to do this, had to do that. And It was kind of dope. It was also intriguing. Like, damn, is this really how it is when you die?
Yeah, I think the Japanese and the Asian type religions, they're more closer to understanding the metaphysics of that, because they're deeply rooted into meditation as a base of religion. We kind of call it prayer in Christianity, but we don't really litigate it to literal meditative techniques. Prayer is a form of meditation, but we don't teach our children how to really meditate, how to go inward. So I think the Asians, when they make these animes, because they're highly ingrained in their imagination, they can present metaphysical, spiritual information through those TV shows and cartoons that we see and we know deep inside it has something to do with something, but we have to become more ingrained inside of ourselves and less dense. What type of watch you got, what type of flyware you got. We're more into the physical stuff.
Right.
They're more already out there. That's why you see them. They kind of be dressing kind of bummy and stuff like
that. Yeah, I mean, shit, clothes don't matter at a point.
They don't care.
Right.
They don't have no care. They're more attached to another place. But but overall, I just think that death is a topic in discussion based on your consciousness, really.
Right.
Where you going, where you die, is where you send your mind to at night most of the time. So the question is, where does your consciousness go when you're not in your conscious mind? That means when you're unconscious, when you're asleep, wherever your mind goes, a collectivity of your whole entire lifetime of where you send your mind to. That's why meditation is important. Is where you're gonna go when you actually leave the body.
I remember seeing this movie. I think it's called, don't quote me on this, but I think it's called Where Dreams May Lie.
Yeah, Where Dreams, but that's a hell of a movie.
It was crazy. And I got to see it again, because when I seen it, I wasn't really conscious. I was just, waking up type conscious, right? But I remember the part of the movie when they was talking about death, and he was like, the guy, he was like, physical death. He was like, that's nothing. He was like, mental death. It's internal. because you keep reliving that moment over and over. You know, when you physically die, it's a one-time thing. You physically dead. He said mental or spiritual death is a constant. It's over and over and over, and you can relive. It's like a loop. You relive that, and then I think you ever seen Tales from the Hood?
Yeah, yeah.
When the guy, he was the dude was killed everybody, and then he had to keep reliving all the people that he killed.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had to keep, and that to me is a hell, a version of hell. Like if you did a lot of bad stuff, now your karmatic debt is going to send you to this place to where you got to relive it over and over, or you got to reincarnate and it happens to you. Like people that's born with disabilities, no offense, but I feel like some people that's born with disabilities, we see it as, oh dang, why would God do that? But from another perspective is, what did this person do in a previous life that made them reincarnate and live out this life like this?
We're all dealing with karmic debts, and we're dealing with dharma, trying to redeem the soul. Dharma is redeeming what do you have to do in this lifetime so you don't have the karmic debt in the next lifetime. So I believe that's true. I think some people do come here with certain disabilities, certain things that's, you know, attached to their lifestyle or whatever, you know, ailments they may have. It's attached to something they may have done in another life. And in Vedic astrology, that's why I always tell people, get you a Vedic astrologer to look into your Rahu and your Ketu, the shadow planets in your chart, in your rising. What is the sign? So y'all know the sign. Astrology people know what I'm talking about. But I have someone by the name of Kalini. Her email is kaliniastrologer@gmail.com. She does astrology readings, and she'll tell you exactly some of the karmic debts that you have. That's why the Western astrology can't really go that deep to tell you what did you do in another life, what were you in another life. But the Vedic astrology can possibly give you an insight of why you're experiencing the type of life that you have.
Exactly. And then I got another thing. Another perspective of mine is when you sleep, you actually alive. And when we are considered alive in this lifetime, we actually kind of like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we sleep, that's our real life. And we can't piece it together. We can't put it together. We don't spend too much time in meditation to even fathom what's happening in that realm. But when we wake up in this reality, we're actually asleep. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, yeah. All of the metaphysical civilizations or ancient civilizations that practice metaphysics, they always said that the wakeful life is actually the dream. Like we're in the dream. Even the Australians, they talk about the dream life. We're in the dream, in the physical, when we experience the conscious realm. This is a dream right here, the illusion, Maya. But the actual state that we want to be in, yes, is connected to dreams, literally becoming unconscious. The superconscious is through the unconscious realms. And the whole aspect of sleep is said to be 1/60 of what death is. So when they say sleep is the brother or cousin to death, there's literal text that you can look into that tells you that sleep is contributed to death. Sleep is contributed to the spirit realm. And where we're trying to go, we're trying to tread the landscapes of the spirit realm and where you go to when you're not consciously in the physical body. And the more and more you do that, the more and more you have the ability to lucid dream and determine what type of dreams that you want to go to, because you can literally open up a portal in your dreams where when you wake up in the morning, if you develop this technique of lucid dreaming, you can go right back to the last state that you were in when you woke up from the dream the previous day.
I've been trying to practice that, and I ain't gonna front. It's pretty hard. And I won't say it's pretty hard.
It's new. Anything is hard. If it's new, if you doing something new, it's always hard.
And I don't have enough practice in it.
Yeah.
I don't get enough time to practice it. I wish I would have days where I could just spend time meditating and stuff like that, but because I got to deal with bills and stuff like that, it makes it more difficult.
That's what America is about.
Yeah.
See, America you got to pay these bills, you got to be running around. It doesn't allow for someone to live a spiritual life. And that's what they want to do. That's a part of the mind control. America doesn't allow for us to live in our spirituality. So we have to create whatever pocket and space that we can to live a spiritual life. And that's why I dedicated my life to giving certain type lessons to help people with that.
Yeah, they try to really limit us and turn us into these employee machines, these robots that just want to work and care about money.
Work, wake up, you gotta go pay your bills, and you gotta go do stuff for your kids, you gotta go deal with the emotional behavior of humans.
Right.
The biggest enemy isn't the white man. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that. Or white people, black man. The biggest enemy that you have down here is living a human life. Humanity is the enemy. When you really get to the bottom of it, if you look at how humanity is today, there ain't no humanity.
Right.
If you really look at it, I mean, you come across certain people, they got a good heart, they'll do stuff for you. But I'm saying, the whole entire landscape, you like, yo, the world is done. It's over, like Bobby Hemmings used to say. It's finished, you know. But you got all of these people selling their image online, and AI's coming in, about to take over. Humanity has ran its course for millions of years. We're possibly looking at the brink of humanity. And I think the people who are spiritual, the indigo, quote unquote, children, we're looking towards what's next in the incarnations. Because I'm a big proponent, just to get a little bit deeper in the subject, when you're talking about extraterrestrials and stuff like that, I believe that there is worlds out there that aren't human that we have a conscious connection to. And possibly past death, you don't have to come back as a human. If God is the God of all creation, all life, if we believe that aliens exist, they have to be connected to God as well, too, right? So who's to say that we've been, do you believe, let me ask you a question, do you believe we've been human more than we've been souls?
No. I think we've been souls for eons, for thousands of years. I think we've been humans for not that long, and I think that whoever created, the God that created, one I believe that there's multiple gods. Even in the Bible, it tells you that God is a jealous God, and you shouldn't serve no other God but God. So he's letting you know that he's angry at these other gods, whoever the hell that they are, and you shouldn't serve them and just serve him alone. So the God that created humans, I think he did that, or it did that.
That's some powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
You might get, yeah. Well, what you talk about, that's what the Gnostics believe. You know, they believe that the God that the creation of humans was a debauchery, because if spirit and frequency is the highest aspect of this reality, then being human, being more entrenched in what this realm is, that has to be the bottom of what consciousness is. And maybe we came to the bottom to experience it so we can transmute and go back to the top. But whatever God is over that physical sphere possibly is the jealous God that's referred to in the biblical text.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was a God that was mad at other gods, and he got hit with a task to stay in this area. You know, I'm just summing it up. And when he was in this area, he wanted to create some beings that would listen and worship him. And this is why that God is big on worship, and you shouldn't praise no other God, because if we contact these other gods, we might get liberation. Even in that Bible, it say don't eat from the tree of knowledge. Why wouldn't we want to know knowledge? Why would you want to keep us dumb? You get what I'm saying? Like,
don't eat from the tree of knowledge.
And then once we ate from the tree of knowledge, you cursed us.
And why is the tree of knowledge evil?
Right.
They call it the evil tree, and the serpent was a part of that tree.
It's,
but it has to be something esoteric that we aren't understanding. See, the masses don't get initiated into the mystery. The mystery is deeper than what you know. And they try to put it in these movies and leave certain details. But we're becoming more conscious. I believe this is probably the most conscious time that we've lived in recent times.
And in recent times,
from ancient times. They was doing cymatic Tartarian society.
They was doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so we didn't have that type of frequency. But I think we're coming back around. But yeah, I think that in the Bible, it even mentions that ye are gods.
Right.
And the scriptures cannot be broken. So every last one of you are a type of God.
A variation, a spectrum of God.
And
Step
oh, step of self. I was like, what? But and this is the big thing. The word God is a 6th century Germanic term.
What it mean?
It means a blonde-haired deity.
I've seen a video. I seen a documentary, and the word God in that documentary stand for gold, oil, drugs. That's what
Yeah.
God's supposed to stand
Well,
for.
there's acronyms because the Moors say that God stands for generator, operator, and the destroyer. So you have the generator, the operator, and destroyer. I heard the gold. What was it? Goals? What?
Gold, oil, and drugs.
Gold, oil, and drugs. You know, so acronyms to fit the modern era. Yeah, but originally, I'm telling you, it's a 6th century Germanic term.
Wow.
Black people, melanated people never called the source of consciousness God. This is a recent European term that comes from Nordic German tradition. Matter of fact, every one of our days of the week is German. People don't know that. The Monday is from their god Munagog. Sunday is
AI. How do you feel about AI? Some people say
demons.
artificial intelligence. Some people say alien invasion.
Demons.
Some people say this shit.
Demons. Go ahead.
I think they summons in. You're right. I think they summons in. Just like when you watch these movies, like iRobot and everything else that has artificial intelligence, when you start summoning and giving consciousness to a computer or whatever you want to call it that can think for itself, that's not of God. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can say it's of God because we are considered gods and we created it, but it's not a natural connection to God. Therefore, it can be manipulated by another type of energy.
Right.
So when that AI robot is talking to you, that's not of God. That could be from a demon.
Well, this is the thing, and I'm just, joking when I'm saying directly demon, because there's positive and negative things
and
to everything.
Yes.
There's polarity. All right,
Yes.
we clarified that. So now let's come for a more refined answer of what I feel about AI in its totality. Are righteous beings creating this thing?
Right.
Because we ain't created it.
Right.
Me and you ain't there programming AI. I mean, the average person doesn't even know how to program a AI. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about what artificial intelligence is, the most evilest people in the world are developing this technology for you. The people that have all the billions of dollars, they're all clicked in secret societies.
Hey, you. Keep it down.
All these people that's a part of the billionaire club, most of those people aren't here to do something good for you.
Right.
They're here to make their coin.
Right.
So when you're looking at AI, these applications, you got to look at what is the target of what they're trying to do. And if you see the evolution of what AI is, and all of these little conventions they're having with AI, they're improving it,
Right.
so it can become more human. And the whole objective of AI, the reason why I call it demon, is because they're making it to replace us,
Right.
eventually.
Right.
So they don't need us. They can do how they're doing in the Matrix, hook us up. They can tell you, hey, what if we told you you can be whatever you want to be in another life? I'm speaking to y'all. What if I could plug you up to a machine and we can create whatever reality you want to have? If you want to have sex with kids and stuff like that, we can make a virtual reality. It's not a crime because it's virtual. It's happening in your head. What if we can make you a billionaire? You want to live as a billionaire? We can create a virtual reality where you run the whole world. You're the main billionaire. And that's the next step that they're going to do with this thing. And to me, that's demonic.
That's demonic. It's demonic.
Yeah.
And on top of it, it's soulless. Because in these realities, you can do whatever. You can rape children, you can kill anything, and you're outliving it in your head, which means in retrospect, you are performing these acts. But they're hiding it, they're masking it in a virtual reality so you can get away with it.
Facts.
And that is demonic.
That's demonic. And I feel like people need to be very careful with these apps. Every time you use these AI apps like the Remini and all of these type things, read the policies and read the statements like we said on the last podcast. Because not only are these things here to make soul contracts so they can steal your likeness and identity, they're uploading it into a system so they can create a mimicry of what you are. Every time you're looking at your cell phone, you're looking at your TV, there's a small camera inside of it recording everything you do. And this is how they're gathering their data right now. They have to gather as much data as they can from humans so they can perfectively mimic us to the best ability that's possible. And that's what's going on with this whole AI agenda.
Anybody out there pushing this AI shit is retarded.
Yeah, anybody talking about that AI shit. Now, I'm not, like I said earlier, you can use it to do some things.
Right. Because it's polarity. It's good and bad to everything.
It's good and bad, but the overall agenda, it can't be good for us. It can't.
It's going to be detrimental. And they want to replace you. They want to replace your job. They want to replace women. Like they got AI robot strippers.
They got robots now. They got there's a movie out. I can't remember the name of it. It's called I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was a whole entire town of prostitute AI systems, and men would pay to go there to have sex with these AI robots. It's like from Blade Runners, something like that. It's a Blade Runner whole thing. But
and that's even like the TV show. What's the TV show with the black ball? What you was telling me about? It was on Netflix.
Black Mirror?
No.
Oh.
Black Mirror too, but it was the one. It was AI. They go to this town. They get.
Oh, Westworld.
Westworld
is that's that shit right there, because I think they're about to make. I think we're in a Westworld world. I think most of these celebrities, I'll say some of them, they're rolling out test models right now, and some of these people aren't even real people. So when you saw the woman that was on the plane talking about this ain't no real person, they're literally saying that there ain't real people out here wearing the silicone skin and all of that type of thing. The reptilians ain't gonna be some extraterrestrial. It's gonna be somebody wearing a whole skin, and robots wearing different skins, and people playing several identities.
I seen she had a mask on.
You saw that? I saw that video, and I thought it was like a chain at first, but when you really look in, you zoom the camera in, you watch it about 2 or 3 times, her skin is flapping. That's definitely a mask. And this is the thing, when it comes to her, we don't know who this woman is. When black people experience a Karen, we find them less than 24 hours. If a Karen does something, that means a white woman that makes a false accusation to the police on a black person, we can find them like that. It's been 7 days. We still don't know who this woman is.
Wow.
This woman probably doesn't even exist. You see what I'm saying? You have to consciously think about these things. So this whole AI type stuff, they got a program called deep fake programming, where they can make a person look like they given a animal head. So they can put your body and make a whole video like you doing it, and it's AI doing it, and they can make a person look like you, put it on a real body. And now they got the new hustle. They about to do the OnlyFans, AI generated OnlyFans models.
Wow.
So you think somebody really, showing their body and doing all of this type stuff, it's going to be people hustling AI OnlyFans page. And this is where you get into the demonic stuff, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, y'all, we entering a time where it's going to be real hard to tell the men from the women, the robots from the humans. It's going to be real hard. So you want to be true to who you are, know yourself, and trust your instincts, trust your gut, and be careful with this technology. This technology is not for you. It's for them. They make it look like it's for you because you got a phone and you can FaceTime your parents and stuff like that, but it's for them. They're spying on you. They're creating a file of specifically you, mimicking all your movements, all your habits, all your photos, everything. And they're creating an AI version of you, or they're using it to run tests. And so we got to be careful with this.
Be very careful, and trust in your own power. Don't trust in anything outside of yourself. And peace, love, and power.
All right, y'all. Peace and love.